Hello and welcome to the Taj Gibson episode of the Hoop Theory Podcast, aka episode 67. My name is Logan Wertman, recording this one on the morning of Thursday, December 14th, and as usual, I am joined by my faithful co-host, Jacob Roth. Jacob, how does it feel to be on the Taj Gibson episode?
Feels pretty good. Is that George Michael's song called Faithful? Or is that just Faith? Just Faith?
Faith.
Because you gotta have faith. Anyway, that's the first thing I thought of when you said faithful. I'm glad that you think I'm loyal. Faithful to the cause, because I am, to all you hoop theory people out there. Taj Gibson, great one, kind of sprinkled in, wild name to have. I mean, we've had some kind of all-time pantheon type of guys be the names of podcasts.
Yeah, but we've also had the likes of Saban Lee, 38.
That's true.
But
yeah, but like Taj Gibson, I feel like is a pantheon of like his type of guy.
Yeah.
It's like him, Udonis Haslem, just guys that are kind of grit and grind guys, been around the NBA sphere, not just one place for a long time.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty regarded as like, if they're your teammate, they're like the best, but if they're not your teammate, they're not as cool when you're playing basketball. And that's a good quality. I don't think that's bad at all. Fun fact, if you didn't hear what happened earlier this week, we might be talking about when it's a bad quality to be that type of guy on a basketball court. When you don't know when to stop and you just punch people.
Yeah.
Randomly.
That's a great segue, honestly, to our first topic, which is Draymond Green.
Oh, it is the first one? Okay, cool.
Yeah. That happened 2 days ago now. That wasn't last night. That was 2 days ago, yeah. He got ejected, obviously,
with 8 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah.
We did our homework this time. You people aren't ready.
But so he slapped Jusuf Nurkic in the face, like in the neck area.
It was if you could close half your hand, it was like a club. He clubbed him. I don't even want to say he slapped him. It felt like there was like some solidness.
Oh yeah, no, it was like a 360 tornado, like he jumped in the air almost, type of whirlwind
Israel
slap.
Adesanya's spinning back fist.
Yeah. UFC. Is that a UFC? Yeah. I don't know that like fighting stuff very much, but Draymond could definitely do that as a profession after basketball's done.
Which it might be.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It probably won't be. So if you don't know, he has been suspended indefinitely. This is per the NBA's official release. For striking Nurkic in the face. It was announced by Joe Dumars. This was announced yesterday. The suspension will begin immediately, and he is required to meet certain league and team conditions before he's allowed to return to play. And this, for everybody's like, what? Just punch one guy? People do that. This is, if you've never watched basketball, this is the definition of a repeat offender. There's a picture of Draymond Green smiling, looking at the camera, like that really good like headshot of him. Also, one thing I've noticed about Draymond Green's like league media day headshots, everything about his face doesn't change. His beard just gets grayer. Like his smile's the same. They like get his head level the same every time. He looks just as happy. And then just his beard slowly gets grayer as you look through him.
Wow.
It's just interesting that it's like, there's not like, I mean, I don't expect like Jimmy Butler change, but like even Clay went from like short hair to like a little bit of a fro, Draymond is just like graying beard, showing a little bit of age. But no, he just straight up punched Nurkic in the face, and it's like his third physical altercation this season or second? Second suspension. Is it his third
second suspension. I don't know if there's probably been some like little scuffles here and there, I guess. But yeah, less than a month ago, he
Gobert
choked
headlock.
Gobert, yeah. It's been less than a month. And he's already back at it. For something that was like I saw somebody comment shortly after this on Instagram. They were like, I'm guessing they were a Warriors fan. They were like, not his fault. Nurkic was grabbing him, something like that. And I was like, dude, like if he was grabbing him, which it looked like he might have been like holding onto his jersey a little bit on the back.
Oh, you mean a basketball play? Like what some people do on the court already sometimes.
Yeah. In what world is the next logical step for Draymond Green to, commit a 360 like bitch slap onto a grown man, on a basketball court? It's just
that was
wild. Take it easy a little bit. I wanted to bring up the tranquilizer idea and see if your thoughts on that have changed.
No, they haven't. I just think tranquilizer is such a aggressive step. I don't know. Tranquilizing any human being is a little crazy.
When you gotta fight fire with fire,
No, I would rather
Draymond's all about aggressive steps.
What I would want is have UFC professionals do whatever he does to him.
Well, that's actually more dangerous, I feel like, than a tranquilizer. Getting punched in the head.
But eye for an eye,
But that's worse than what I'm suggesting.
But I feel like it is involving a mechanical advantage feels like inhumane.
Well, he's not supposed to win. You're supposed to subdue him. You're supposed to give him a punishment.
Yeah, and getting spinning back fist by Conor McGregor or whoever, he can pick who it is. That would be a punishment for sure. It would shorten his career, unfortunately. But I really do wonder if he comes back. Unfortunately for who?
Yeah.
Everybody. This is entertainment. This is content.
I would be okay if Draymond
Green played another game
of basketball. Honestly.
Actually, now that I think you're right, actually.
He's ruining his legacy, honestly, the more and more he plays.
I think his legacy has done nothing but gotten worse since they beat the Celtics. Even then, that's when it started to go oh, he won a championship, but all his shenanigans balanced that out. Mm-hmm. So this the enforcer kind of do it all catch all guy will have a 5 and 5, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 5 blocks, 5 assists, have everything.
Yeah,
that's gone. That you don't even think about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more just
one of the best defenders ever. All of his highlight reels are going to be of non-basketball plays.
Yeah, nut kicks and back fists and head stomps and sternum crushes.
Yep.
That could honestly, someone should make a rap. Dame, I have an idea for you. Just call it courtside violence, and the picture is Draymond Green.
Wow.
And then you could do a lot of kind of fun puns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
bouncing off Sabonis like a trampoline. Don't mess with him. His name is Draymond Green.
Oh wow.
Bars.
You got to send that to him, honestly.
Yeah, I'll just quick send that to Dame through a
tweet
personal message. Hit up your boy Dame. Courtside Violence EP.
EP. multiple songs about all about this.
One for every single NBA franchise thinks he's done to all of them. That was just the Kings track.
Wow.
And it's Kings of the Court.
A 30-track EP.
I don't know how.
Or 29, I guess.
Oh yeah, well, no, you could do what Jordan Poole would like one written about the Warriors.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just an insane thing that Draymond needs to have figured out. I loved Yusuf Nurkic's interview afterwards, where he was like, "That man needs help." Did you see that?
Also, I didn't see that, but the one thing that I've seen is it feels like everyone that knows Draymond was like, "This is good. This is good that they're gonna make him go."
That he's being
counseling.
Punished. Oh yeah,
no, punished, and
I just wasn't sure if you meant what he did was good. I didn't.
No. Sorry, the acts or the steps that the NBA and the Warriors are taking, everyone was he echoed without saying it as bluntly as the guy that just got backfisted. He needs help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, KD.
I think it was KD was the big name that I saw that was this will be good for Draymond or something. I don't know the exact quote. I should have pulled that up. But
he also, let's talk about this. KD said that he's never seen something like that on a basketball court, even though he was literally on the floor in the game when Ron Artest knocked out James Harden. with his elbow. So that was just a lie, but it's definitely up there, though. It's got to be top 3 or 4.
Yeah. Like,
for him that he's
this is another that he's experienced. This also brings up an interesting episode. How do you think that, like, would Draymond Green just have replaced Dennis Rodman on the Bad Boy Pistons?
Is that just what? Like, if you were to swap them, he would have done the same thing?
What, he would have just kind of done the same things? Because I feel like even Bill Laimbeer's like, wow, that was pretty aggressive, Draymond. That was kind of crazy. And
did he really? I didn't hear that.
No. I'm like, I feel like that's like... Because just there's not like if it was in every little game, like weird kind of shoulder check, that's whatever. That's just sometimes people are kind of that mean guy. Mm-hmm. But he's like, does nothing in the game other than be like kind of yelly at refs, and then he'll just hauls off and punches somebody.
Yeah.
And if he did it once ever, you'd be like, oh, he just broke that one time. But it's just all the time. I'm glad that he's getting... I'm glad the NBA finally actually like made a big kid decision. And was like, stop. No, you're not playing basketball until you get your life figured out. Yeah. And then I'd imagine if he does get his stuff figured out, quote, whatever you want to call it, and he does it again, he's just done.
You would think.
So, one thing we can say for sure, though, is the NBA takes on-court violence more seriously than off-the-court domestic violence. Hashtag Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
That still bugs me to this day.
I agree. For sure.
Both totally are wrong. Agree. I just pivoted away from the Draymond Green thing, but
yeah.
Who knows when he comes back? If it's this season, if it's not, but indefinitely is a big word.
For sure. And it's just the thing about him. You know, what he always says is like, I've apologized for these things in the past. Like, you can't hold my past against me, basically. And it's like, yes, they can. Like, if you're a repeat offender, that matters. It's not like just because you paid your fine on the last thing, that doesn't mean that didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's not erased.
The NBA is not Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Their sins are not forgiven.
Yeah. So, definitely an issue. It's good that he apologized to Nurkic, at least afterwards. Like, he was much quicker to make an apology this time.
Because I don't think he has like a genuine hatred in his heart for Yusuf Nurkic. Like he does.
Might. I don't know why he would swing on him like that. That was like so unprovoked.
Well, also the thing that like gets me fired up about the Draymond things, outside of the Gobert one, almost every time he like looks like he's trying to hide that he's just hitting someone.
Yeah.
He tries to like flails both of his legs if it's the kick, or like the stomp thing. The stomp thing is the one that I think he timed the worst. Because he like very clearly stomped and then was like, no.
Yeah.
I feel, but no, it's all of them are like, you're disguising the fact that you're just hitting someone.
Uh-huh.
But you're on an NBA court.
Cameras like, all over the place.
Cameras are everywhere.
Yep.
Like, there's not an angle that won't be seen.
Yeah. It's just, he needs to get that figured out. I think we've nailed that on the head. But something that is kind of a segue to our next thing is that Draymond Green, you know, this is the kind of stuff he gets texts for and gets tossed out for. But the thing that he rarely ever gets punished even a little bit for is what he says to the referees. He can run his mouth as much as he wants. He can talk to the refs all game long, and there's no repercussions. But apparently, if you are not Draymond Green and you're a 2-time MVP, let's say, like Nikola Jokic, and you just use one swear word, that is enough to get you tossed out of an NBA game without any prior technical. He's the first NBA player ever to get ejected after one technical. He didn't even get a second technical.
Did you see the like, because you know how they're like they get the chief official goes and talks with one kind of pool reporter.
Yeah.
Did you see that dialogue?
I heard somebody read it off.
I have it here, so I will read it off for our listeners. Mark Lindsay, who is the event official that was the Denver Chicago crew chief, talked for his crew, and he spoke with I want to make sure I get the right person.
It was Musa Dagger that made the call. But
yep. I just want to get the official. I only see the last name. The reporter that talked to him is Johnson. Man, I really wish I had this person's name because he did a good job of like pressing the issue. So here is reporter Johnson said, "What did Nikola Jokic do or say to warrant the first technical foul?" Then Mark Lindsay responds, "To be clear, Jokic was ejected after one technical foul because of a direct profane language at the official that, by our standards, warranted an ejection." Reporter Johnson, "Is it typical for an ejection to follow one technical foul?" Mark Lindsay, "To be clear, Jokic was ejected after one technical foul." Johnson, "Did you receive a warning between the first technical foul and the ejection?" Lindsay, "Again, to be clear, Jokic was ejected after one technical foul."
Yep, so obviously just the not language, answering the question.
Yep. Obviously, the language is so strongly received that it warranted an ejection in your eyes. Lindsay, "We don't typically publicly get into what exactly the player said, but the language reached the standard of ejection for an ejection." Then Jokic, I believe it was himself, from the horse's mouth, said what he said.
Oh, really? I haven't heard this.
See, now I'm worried.
I've seen
Jokic
reports.
admitted that he crossed the line, reportedly saying that something along the lines of, "Call the foul, you mother effer."
Mm-hmm.
Or there's no you, just call the foul, mother effer.
That, I think the you adds a little bit of punch, honestly.
Yeah, so that's why I fixed my trying to make it a proper sentence in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but he was confused why he was ejected. If you've not seen the video, it's pretty funny because it was not officially a special night, but it was kind of a big day for Serbian Americans in Chicago.
Yeah. Before we get to that, I guess the referee interview thing is like Mark Lindsay. It's just kind of like doing that thing where he just keeps saying the same answer over and over and is just not taking the question seriously, which is just annoying. And then also he goes on to say that we don't usually get into what people say, what players say. And it was like, that just feels like well, I'm not going to say what he said, but trust me, it was bad. It was bad, type of thing. And they just kind of keep everything to the vest and are, their own like deciders of what is right and wrong. Kind of protecting this guy who has a track record of this now. He's a pretty recent, like, new addition to the NBA reffing circle, and that's Musa Dagger,
I believe.
Yeah, and so
Year 5. Sorry, year 5.
Oh, year 5. I think both this season though. He's had 2 other instances like this where he ejected Terrence Mann for using profane language and Jimmy Butler for using profane language.
And this is also a thing that we might talk about this officiating thing for a while, but I found somebody that like went and broke down like a lot of things. And if you look at the
rule book, is that what you're going to look at?
No, the people making ejections. I'm saying the referees themselves. Overall, the official. So Jamal Murray got ejected last week.
Yep.
By getting a little bit fired up. And that was done by JT Orr, who is an official with 12 years experience, but has never been chosen to be one of the 36 refs in the playoffs.
Okay.
So he's like a vet, but he does not have any playoff experience, meaning he's a lower regarded referee in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jaylen Brown was also ejected last week. That one blew my mind. I was watching that one live, and I was like, what? I don't know what he said, but anyway, he was ejected by Jason Goldberg, a young official with no playoff experience. Trae Young, when he got ejected, when the Hawks were playing, I believe it was the Nuggets, actually, maybe. No. Yeah, it was the Nuggets. The Hawks were playing the Nuggets, and Trae Young got ejected. Yep, and that was...
Did he really?
Yep, Brett Haskell, who is also a young official with no playoff experience, and he's... Are
you sure that was a Nuggets game? I don't think...
Positive. I just looked at the video.
When
this
did
might
that
have
happen?
not been... when he clapped, it looks like it's in Atlanta, based on the video I'm watching.
Like it could have been the game from this week. I just don't remember him getting thrown out. Maybe he was.
Potentially. It's definitely from this year.
Oh, it is? I think we've only played them once.
It was in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Atlanta was wearing their all black?
I don't remember.
And you guys were in white? Okay. Well, December 11th. So yes.
Really? He got thrown out?
Yep, because he clapped. Like he looked at his teammates and clapped like, let's get this one, or said something along those lines and got ejected. He was ejected by Brett Haskell, as I said earlier. Which the thing is, like, if there's just this trend of all the people that are ejecting people, it's not like the vet refs that have all this playoff experience, have a lot of games under their belt. It's like young guys that are a couple years into the league, or guys that have been in the league for a while, but are like very clearly not considered by the NBA to be their creme de la creme, the top of the top, because none of them have almost none of them have called playoff games.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird.
Thought was it. The person that Tom Haberstroh was the guy that I found that compiled all of this information. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that guy.
Yeah,
because he found it. Also, apparently, the NBA is on pace to have 80 ejections, which would break the record over the past decade.
And what is the record? Do you know?
Overall, forever? I don't know. I can look.
Or do you have the record it will be breaking?
Last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird that I don't remember
or 2 years ago. Sorry, the one coming off of COVID. There were 76 ejections the year after, and then 70 last year, and now they're on pace for 80. And it's more the people they're ejecting for me. That's what I'm like, what? Name a sport on this planet where your best players just get kicked out of the game.
For saying a word. That is insane.
Honestly, almost like, yes, that's crazy. But even just in general, like,
well, sometimes
Patrick Mahomes
people get kicked out for a reason, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's deserved.
No, yes, but the word part, absolutely. Like if Patrick Mahomes in the NFL yells at a ref and he gets ejected, what? Are you serious? Like baseball. Shohei Ohtani says something to a ump, gets kicked just because the ump's feelings were hurt?
Yeah. I don't
That's what
understand.
people came to watch.
Exactly.
That's what people put. And the first time Jokic, or I think it was the first time Jokic got ejected, the announcer had an all-time line, was just like, hey, listed off the 3 refs' names. I don't remember them. But he was like, no one wants to watch you do anything.
Yeah.
Actually. They're here to watch Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. Was it in Memphis? I don't remember. Anyway. Detroit. They just put it perfectly. And no one cares about the refs. Other than that they ruin the game sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get things right, and they don't get enough love when they get things right. I personally believe that. When there's a well-called, properly called game, you don't see shout-outs on Twitter.
Yeah.
Good job on the refs for,
honestly,
it's increasingly rare.
It should be kind of how it is, though, if you think about it. Like, the refs should just be, an unnoticed part of the game, you know? It should be, in theory. Obviously, you're not going to have that perfect of a world.
But when there's, a very difficult, I don't know how to figure this out type of situation... You know what I mean? Because sometimes those happen when, it's a weird, I don't say a rule book thing, but, when they have to go under the hood and make, a tough call. If
there's going to be people who are mad about it, yeah. But generally, there's...
The people that think, oh, that's, a good call, tough decision, you made the right one. That they never get the, I don't want to be in your shoes guy. That would suck to make that decision. That was a hard one.
Yeah.
Not true. That I don't think refs deserve any more love, because I think refs across every sport are beginning to suck more and more, and I'm convinced it's a conspiracy to get robot refs.
Wait, so somebody is orchestrating getting the bad refs in the big spotlight situations to... I'm
just convinced that
if somebody had that much control, couldn't they just make robot refs happen already?
No, but they got to get the fans on their side to be ready and fed up with it. Because baseball saw what happened when you just try to make changes when people are like, don't do that. So what's going to happen, I personally believe, is refs have been getting worse in football and basketball. Just slowly, year after year, they get worse and worse and worse. Then there's going to be some sort of magic AI that can watch all these angles and just get it rulebook correct. And it will never be wrong. And you have like one human being there that's like, okay, robot, that's definitely wrong. That was not a travel.
Mm-hmm.
This guy got bumped or pushed or they touched the ball, whatever. For like the weird things that the robot messes up. But it's going to happen soon. Like knocking on the door 2030. I'd be shocked if it is not entirely AI'd, it'll be AI assisted.
By 2030?
2030.
Wow.
That's my guess.
6 years from now?
There's no real genuine like intel, obviously. Who the heck would think I would have any intel on this? I just think that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. But going back to the Jokic ejection, I guess, you brought up the Serbian night thing. So, like, I saw people on social media talking about how, like, oh, who cares? He got thrown out. It was his decision, his actions, and it's not like they're in the Nuggets arena, so why do you care about fan experience or something like that? And it's like you said, it was everywhere that I've seen, it says it was Serbian Heritage Night. Apparently there was this Bulls PR person that said that it wasn't official like Heritage Night, but they gave a lot of tickets to ethnic Serbians in the city of Chicago for that night. And so there was a lot of Serbians there. And for those who don't know, Chicago is also extremely Serbian. It's actually not just the most Serbian city in North America, but it's also the second most Serbian city in the world. The only city that has more Serbians in its population is the capital of Serbia, Belgrade, which is just wild. That more Serbians are in the city of Chicago alone than any other city, even in Serbia, other than Belgrade. Needless to say, there was a lot of people in United Center that night that were there specifically to watch Nikola Jokic play basketball. And they were not able to continue watching that because this referee, as we've talked about, Musa Dagger, he missed a very obvious call. If you want to watch the replay on that, a very obvious foul. No two ways about it. And Nikola Jokic, he doesn't run straight back to the other end of the court, but as he's running back, he kind of veers towards the ref a little bit and faces him. And you can see that he's yelling something at the ref, and then turns and continues to run down the court with his team on, defending the fast break. And
which I think is important. Sorry, I think it's important to note that like that is the Jokic. That's just usually what Jokic does.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like. There's other guys that'll get in the ref's face and like get like squat down and get right in the ref's like make big hand. Jokic sometimes gets a little bit more animated than that, but like. The running by, saying how he felt, that is like the most, I'm going to complain because you made the wrong decision, but was the best way to do it.
Exactly. Like, Jokic just had plays where you could tell that he's like, I'm just going to get ejected right now because I want to. And that's when he does what you're talking about, where he just goes up straight to the ref and just lets him have it. But, like, this was he was, like, so surprised that he got even a technical on this play. And what I think is funny about that is looking at the NBA rulebook. I don't know if you've seen anything about this, but in section V, paragraph E, so this is the conduct section. It says cursing or blaspheming an official. I guess we should say what he said was, I think you already said it actually. Call a foul, mother effer.
Allegedly, reportedly.
Yeah. That's what players and the play-by-play guys that were on the scorers table, that's what they said, at least. And it says in the NBA rulebook, cursing or blaspheming an official shall not be considered the only cause for imposing a technical foul. Running tirades, continuous criticism, or griping may be sufficient cause to assess a technical. Excessive misconduct shall result in ejection from the game. And so, like, trying to figure out what he did outside of said the F word at this ref to constitute being even given a technical. Like if you go on continuous criticism, was it really continuous? He turned and said one thing and then kept running.
Yeah.
Did he
in that situation? Yeah, I don't know what I didn't watch the game live. I don't know if there was things before. Not that would still make it right, because very clearly it says it has to be like in a tirade, I think is the word that the rule book uses.
Yeah.
Meaning like in a singular like diatribe, rolling at one. Wow, there's a $5 word. Like rolling like in one situation as opposed to it building up over a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like if every time that ref missed a call, Jokic did the same thing, and that was like time number like 8 or 9, you'd be like, okay. But
it wasn't though. I can attest.
It wasn't. Okay. Yeah. So then the other thing that is confusing to me is why he immediately just went T point. Like there was no question.
He was like so offended by the word. It seemed like. I was worried that he like actually said something like bad, like the N word or something. I'm not even kidding.
No, that would have been like a legitimate, like multiple game problem with how quick it felt.
Like that would make sense. The reaction that Musa Dagger had was like that was what happened, because and then even like Chris Marlowe on the Nuggets call was like apparently Jokic called Musa Dagger a derogatory term, and so then that's when I was like really worried. I was like, did he really just like forget what country he was in and go full, Eastern European on him? Like, so I was worried about that, but luckily that is not what happened. And apparently he got kicked out of an NBA game just because he called a ref a mother effer. How did Kevin Garnett ever finish a single NBA game?
Well, I also think it's because
you get what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, and you're like correct.
You can't cuss in the NBA now? Is that a thing?
I think that KG also is just kind of him, I think he just gets away with it. It's just him.
But there's so many people that swear. And then like
no, I know. No, I'm not saying it.
You hear it on the telecast. You hear it like
in the KG's my favorite.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can hear it all the like I would wager that a ref is called the F word, like there's some profane language directed at an official from a player just about every single game that is played in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
So why the best player in the world, he says one thing and gets thrown out of the game? It seems like it should be a bigger deal than it is. Like it's a big deal right now to like Nuggets fans, I feel like. But I just feel like there's the reaction from people. There's been a lot of people that are like, well, he shouldn't have lost his temper. He should stay composed. It's like,
also, if you think that's Jokic losing his temper, Jokic throws baby temper tantrums.
Yeah.
He does that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call what he did there him losing his... No, because he will go full baby mode and start shaking and getting red. It's like a different... Yeah.
Yeah, and there was somebody who said... who was arguing with me on social media that said Jokic even said it himself in the post-game or in the locker room interview that he crossed the line. It's like, okay, yeah, of course he said that because he's a decent person. But he also said in that interview, I don't even think what I said was a technical. He did say that. And then he also said in the line about being like crossing a line, he said, I mean, yeah, I crossed the line, but sometimes that word is not crossing a line. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the big quote that was taken out of this that's been spread around everywhere was, I don't know if you saw this, but the line that he said about, I'm just happy that we didn't play that game in Serbia because it would have been fun to see how that would have been handled.
No.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
People were saying that he should get suspended and because that was a threat.
That is kind of a weird thing to throw out there. It's not a suspension because it's a threat, but that was kind of just a weird line to be like...
I don't think it's really a threat. It's kind of just saying like, I mean, you're lucky. Like, it's just kind of like he's pointing out how ridiculous of a situation that is. And like in his home country, like Serbians have killed for less. That's basically what he's saying.
Your description makes it feel more like a threat.
Really?
The way you just described
it doesn't seem like he's saying like, oh, something will happen now. He's just saying like that's it. Back where I'm from, that's like a thing that people don't let go. Like, I've seen Serbians in comment sections backing that up, saying that in like sketchy arenas in Serbia, they will not let the refs go home. Like, they'll trap them in the arena after something like that.
Wild.
Yeah. So, I just think what he said was like a factual thing, honestly. The way he said it, too, was not like a... If you watch him say it, he's like kind of just like giggling a little bit. Like, he's not like...
Well, no, I also didn't think that Jokic was threatening a ref. But just when as you kept like describing it and explaining it, you were like, well... People die for less. I'm like, well, when you put it that way,
I'm just saying Serbians are a little, It's a
different animal.
Yeah,
it's a different world over there. Everywhere, it's a different world than Mexico, and that's right down close. Different world in Canada, and that's close north.
Yeah, but this is like the most close to the most war-torn area in the modern world, over in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. So. They've seen their fair share of wars, especially recently. And yeah, it's also a big mafia problem in the country of Serbia. There's like a lot of conspiracy theories, and a lot of people believe that Jokic's brothers are in the Serbian mafia. Which would make sense.
Was it the Morrises?
Yeah, the Morris twins.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. That was a threat. Yeah, that was Jokic's brothers. Yeah,
because then they like make a Twitter.
The Jokic brothers. Yep, on Twitter. Yeah, but anyways,
we saw a Jokic brother at a Nuggets game.
We did,
outside the arena,
walking outside the arena. That was Nemanja, I believe. Yeah. So,
and I think the only people that would have been excited for that, like we were like, wait. We know who that is.
Yeah, outside of Nuggets fans, I guess, but because they're kind of they're like
the Nuggets celebrities.
Yeah, like I don't know
de facto mascot.
Yeah, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes' wife counts as that same type of thing, or if she's more hated. I know that she's hated as like an NFL meme or whatever, but I don't know if KC fans view her that way. Like the Jokic brothers are like that level of like fame, I guess, to the Nuggets community, but like they're beloved. But yeah, so that should do it.
I did see Jokic. I just saw it. I looked up Jokic brothers to see if they actually tweet frequently. They don't.
Yeah.
I saw the line that we were talking about. I think it's because he's dressed like a mafia boss that everyone feels like it's a threat. He's wearing a black turtleneck and then like a slate gray jacket.
You're talking about like Jokic now?
Yeah, Jokic.
Okay.
And he's like popping his like wrist as he's like saying, well, I think it's because of the optics. He's like laughing while he's saying it, but it feels very like.
Are you seeing the video of it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's just funny because he just looks like he is a mob boss. He's like,
yeah.
Well, my country will see how it would have been handled.
Yeah, that's like a very normal outfit for him after a game, but. Yeah,
No, I know, but it's just everything about it.
Yeah.
Like someone said, the turtleneck, the evil laugh, the Jokic brothers, I believe this would happen, and then laughing, crying faces.
Yeah. But funny. Moving on to another person's brother, and kind of an adjacent situation to the next topic, is did you see Thanasis Antetokounmpo having to get held back by Jay Crowder on the Bucks bench after Giannis got a hard foul on him?
That was wild. Yes, and... Wildly enough, the Twitter people are listening. I scroll down one more picture, and then it's him getting held back by Jay Crowder.
Oh.
I can't make this up. So we can talk about this because there's a couple things in last night's Bucks Pacers game.
Yep.
That I think is worth. Also, looking at the video, it almost looks like it was fake.
Oh,
like he wasn't actually going to run out there.
Oh, yeah. I can see that too. So he kind of looks like he wanted to get held back.
Stops himself.
a little bit. Like, he wanted to make it look like he was being held back, but he didn't actually want to, get ejected or get a big fine or something.
Yeah, he stopped himself. Yeah,
Jay Crowder grabs him, but I also feel like Jay Crowder didn't apply enough force to stop that man.
Jay Crowder grabbed him by one arm, and if there is anything that Giannis has, it is like just being strong. That's like he's a freakishly strong person. That's like his why he's in the NBA superpower other than his brother. It's just he's like freakishly strong.
Yeah.
So I think that if he really wanted to go out on the court, Jay Crowder, despite how strong he is, rocking a beautiful flannel yellow and black shirt.
Yeah.
Holding him by one arm, I don't think would hold him back. But
I agree. But
anyway, that was an interesting thing. Giannis also, why is he so whiny?
Yeah. See, my thoughts on this were...
we're talking about...
Yeah, you give the whole... Yeah, you give the whole breakdown of it.
So, last night, Giannis had a big night offensively, 64 points?
Yeah, 64, franchise record.
Had a franchise record, personal...
For a franchise that had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing for it for his prime years, just by the way.
Yeah, it was a big night for Giannis. 64 points. And it was against the Pacers, which I did not realize that the Bucks were so impassioned about their loss in the in-season tournament to the Pacers. I just texted you after the Celtics lost. I said, "Damn, we got Halliburton." I think is all I texted because I was like, it just happened. Yeah. They just played a better game than we did and we lost. Didn't think anything of it. Kind of not forgot about the NC. I still watched the games, but I was like, yeah, Halliburton's just being that guy, which I think could be an episode in itself of redoing our top 10s because I think that there's anyway, this could be a whole other thing with the Halliburton discussion. But the Bucks apparently took it personal. Bucks fans did. They were like, we don't mess around with this. So they came out kind of on fire, had a big night. Fourth quarter was pretty much the entire thing was garbage time, where Giannis had 26 points, got up to that 64. So game's over. The game ball goes into the Pacers locker room, not maliciously from what I understand. They have a rookie who that was his first regular season point.
Oscar Tshiebwe, yeah.
Oscar Tshiebwe from Kentucky. Mm-hmm. He had a point in the in-season tournament final, but that doesn't count for regular season points. Mm-hmm. So his first point was a free throw in the fourth quarter, so they took the ball. And then instead of just asking, hey, that ball was my career high and my franchise career high, could I get that ball like an adult would maybe? Instead of him having his 1 point, I get first career bucket, but I would appreciate if I could maybe get it. He dead sprints like a little cannonball into the tunnel and starts scuffling trying to get the ball. Mm-hmm. And then a Bucks staffer goes and gets the ball. And then when he has a ball, he's like, I don't know if this is the game ball. I mean, I was in there for 39 minutes. Doesn't feel like the game ball. It doesn't feel worn.
I don't think it was, by the way.
I don't think it was either.
They have two ball. Every NBA game has 2 game balls because they have one backup. And I think he got the backup one.
I'm sure he did. Yeah. But I just was like, one, why did just the big stink about it? I get Giannis had every right to have that basketball. Absolutely. Yeah. I would argue, even though it was on the road, I think it was on, or were they at home?
No, they were at home. Yeah. That's why the Pacers, I kind of more on the Giannis side. I'm not saying he should have reacted.
I have it backwards. I thought it was in Indianapolis.
No, it was in Milwaukee, on the road. Usually the home team is the
one, if that happens, the home team will divvy out the ball.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Exactly. But Lloyd Pierce, there's a video of as the game ends, Lloyd Pierce walks in front of the ref who has the ball and is making sure to grab the ball as soon as the buzzer sounded. Lloyd Pierce is the assistant for the Pacers.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how I had mixed up where it was, but that changes it kind of a lot. But also, I don't think how Giannis handled it was right at all.
I'd agree.
To go cannonballing into the tunnel.
Impassioned. But I think some of it probably was because he might have this sense of he feels like people are out to get him, maybe more so than they actually are, because apparently he hasn't gotten the game ball on multiple occasions that have been like he should have got, like the 50-point game 6. Apparently he didn't get that game ball. Yeah, exactly. What? And so this was one of those times.
Is that because it was a championship winning thing, so the NBA just took it?
I have no clue what happened.
Because I know the NFL will do that. Like, there's like a famous clip of like Emmitt Smith before he broke the career rushing record. He wore like 2 pairs of cleats, 3 different jerseys, 2 pairs of pants, and 2 helmets or something like that. So he could have one of each of them, and like then the Hall of Fame could get one, and the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones would want some stuff. So Emmitt Smith was like, I'm going to make sure that I have something for me. So I don't know if the NBA took that they won the finals using this ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's our ball now. I don't.
Yeah,
that's wild though that he didn't get a 50-point because that was game
6. That was the game deciding.
That won the game. Yeah. Okay.
The
series deciding made them the champions of the world. Mm-hmm. Shout out Noah Lyles. Right, Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's wild. Actually, the more and more details that I'm finding just in our whatever long conversation. I'm on maybe team Antetokounmpo on this one.
Yeah,
that's a little bit crazy.
It is
because I'm not trying to diminish getting your first bucket in the NBA, but it came on a free throw, and a dude had a 64-point night. That's like a top 5 at his position, potentially all time.
Yeah.
I feel like you can have the backup game ball.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like but you're right though. If Giannis would have reacted more level-headed, it might have gone over just fine without any.
Well, no, and if he would have been level-headed and then he didn't get the game and would have gotten it in the same way, I don't think this is the game ball. Then I would have been like, what the heck?
Yeah.
He asked night. Yeah. I just think it's because of,
There's some people who really do believe the Pacers did that on purpose. I don't know if I agree with them, but.
Well, no, and maybe they did. I don't know. I think that's a weird thing to do.
It was kind of a scrappy game, but.
Yes. Yeah.
So who knows? But like Rick Carlisle said, that's just like an automatic thing for them whenever they have a rookie that scores.
I started reading something because I thought I found some pertinent information, but I didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, Rick Carlisle said that that's just an automatic thing. Whenever they have a rookie who scores their first basket, they just make sure to get the game ball. Yeah.
No, which is that would be that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just times where for example, this could have happened on LeBron breaking Kareem's record. You know who's not getting the ball? The rookie who got his first NBA basket.
Yeah.
Because LeBron has the most regular season points in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guy. Yeah. You're not getting your game ball. Not that this Giannis one was the same level, but it's it's the tier above of importance.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no one, if someone just wants the ball and they didn't do anything, sorry, this guy got his first NBA bucket.
Yeah.
It's his ball. But no, he broke a franchise record as a guy that is a top 5 potentially of his position. Yeah. A pantheon guy. Greece, but
yeah.
Where's that Parthenon?
Pantheon
it is the Greek pantheon is
the gods.
Assortment of gods.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Parthenon is the place.
Yeah, the temple.
Place. Mm-hmm. Is it a 7 wonders of the world? Ancient wonders of the world, I think? Or is it not?
I don't even know what that is. 7. I know what the Parthenon is, but I don't know.
I think the Parthenon is the building and Acropolis is the mountain. Maybe it's the other way around.
Say that again.
So Parthenon.
The Parthenon, yeah.
The Parthenon, I think, is the building, and Acropolis is the mountain it's on.
Acropolis. Maybe. The Olis, the polis part of that makes it sound like a city, because polis means city in Greek.
The Parthenon is a part of is a former temple on the Athenian Acropolis. So the Parthenon is on the Acropolis of Athens.
What is the Acropolis?
Which is a mountain thing where they had a temple.
I'm just confused by the opolis there. Because that literally means city. in Greek?
Maybe like a crop or something means like church city or temple city. I don't know.
Temple City. Circuit City. Yeah. Anyways, the Oscar Tshiebwe, getting his first NBA basket. I think so. Richard Jefferson had an interesting take on this. He said that he thinks Giannis should pay Oscar Tshiebwe, like, a lump sum or whatever, like to get the game ball type of thing, like as a gesture thing, which kind of makes sense. Like, he's like buying somebody's phone number, or buying like a username on a social media platform,
or a sports number. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I actually agree with that because of how Giannis like cannonballed into the tunnel. If he would have been like chill about it, I'd be like, no, give him the real game ball.
Yeah.
He was like a bro. Uh-huh. And Giannis is usually a bro. I don't know. I blame Dame. It's Dame's fault.
Did you see in the clip, Dame like kind of was looking like, calm down. Like he was like standing next to Giannis and he was kind of just like looking like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But Giannis has had a couple things like that now though. The ladder thing, Laddergate, remember that?
Yeah, was that the Pacers too?
No, that was Sixers. Because Montrezl Harrell was the one that flipped out.
That one was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird.
Both sides were weird. Maybe people are out to get Giannis because it's never like a normal routine thing.
Yeah,
like he's just getting free throws in after the game, and they're just like,
"Oh, we're doing our job of like." It's like, no, you don't do that right now. Like that's not how.
Usually,
that works.
people wait till like later.
It's you're doing that because you don't want him to be shooting on your court right now. Like
that's. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm team Giannis. Maybe I have to get like a Giannis t-shirt
for
the back wall. So my plan, I've got a real plan for this.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna put up like there'll be a couple Celtics guys up there, but it's gonna be like my guys. I'm gonna get shadow boxes for like the guys that I just like. Jason Kelce will have one because I've liked Jason Kelce before all this stupid Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and the podcast, and I just liked football. Jason Kelce, big fan. Like even when I lost my Patriots, when my Patriots lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the only person that I was happy for was Jason Kelce. Because he's just like an undersized center that just is just so good and gets no love because he's a center and people don't. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, offensive linemen are pretty fun guys. Look at all these cool podcasts they have. No one gives them love ever until now, which maybe it's a good thing that people give them love now. But I was like a hipster of the Jason Kelce movement. So I'll get my Jason Kelce Kelly Green jersey that I got up there. I'll probably do I'll get like a Holmgren one.
You still gonna get your little baby banners?
the little banners for the Celtics things, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it'll be just universal, and I think I'll have to get I'll probably have to get one for Giannis now.
Yeah.
Everyone's out to get him.
Honestly.
That is so many weird because none of his situations that have been like weird have been like none of them have been in normal circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. Like he reacted.
Like the one time he like blew up at the ref was when like he hung on the rim to not fall on somebody. They gave him a tech and he lost his mind. Yeah, I would too. I was preventing an injury to a fellow NBA player.
Yeah. So yeah, he does react pretty strongly at times, but in these situations, if you look at them, they're kind of like, why in the world did this happen? It was kind of circumstances that he shouldn't have been put in, Yeah. But yeah. Man.
It's wild when you have all the details how much your mind can just
change.
Because I didn't realize that there was just so many things I did not realize. And now I know. So sorry, Giannis. I apologize.
Moving on to another freak of nature from Europe. That country being France.
I was going to guess Johnny Knoxville, but I was wrong.
Is he from
Europe?
Europe?
When you said freak of nature. No, I'm pretty sure he's from like Tennessee.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's the jackass guy for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry,
Wemby.
1 second. I just opened, but my computer had a weird malfunction. Wemby, though, yeah, he had that ankle roll video. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my! As someone that has weak ankles, like I had to tape my ankles whenever I do anything sporting wise. Just baby ankles, like worse than Steph ankles.
I have shoes specifically for my ankles.
I almost vomited watching what happened to Wemby's ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that he just rolled it. It's that it felt like it was a finger crumpling. There was like a 4-action crumple to his ankle roll. And then the crazy Frenchman just jumps up and runs down the court.
It is completely fine.
Because like the ref like looks at him. The bench for the Spurs is like,
yeah.
And then the ref's like, you good? And then he goes, I'm fine. And then like puts his arm up and it's to the ref's head because of how big his wingspan is. And then the ref pulls him up and he just like runs without any hindrance.
Yeah. He is
Elastigirl.
Yeah. The way it looks also is just so crazy because of how long and skinny his leg is. It looks like that could like snap in half. You know what I mean?
I don't even want to think about it. Ugh.
But like,
it's terrifying.
Yeah. But how insanely durable. Like, I saw some comments that were like, AD would have held a funeral right then and there. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty accurate. But like, that is just insane. I saw people saying like that's what stretching can do for you. And if somebody would,
he is big on stretching.
Yeah, he does like yoga before games. If somebody would have told me growing up playing basketball that stretching could prevent like things like that, I don't think I ever even knew that. I knew like muscle pulling, like, you know, your muscles type of thing. But like rolling something, I didn't know that stretching would even. It makes sense now that I think about it. But
I think it's more the stretching is in like stretching all the time makes your body just more snappy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it can
bend
just
that
kind
way
of take
used to it.
And it just kind of snaps back. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
that's just
yeah, it's just crazy the way it looks for those who haven't seen the video. But also with Wemby the other night, speaking of AD, also they had a head-to-head battle last night that almost ended in a Spurs win.
Dude, I would if I was Wemby, I would go back to France and say, I didn't declare for the NBA draft. Anyone else get the first pick, please?
Yeah, it's just
they just keep letting him down.
Do.
He's doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
Not better than my boy Chet,
Rookie
of the year. But what the heck?
Yeah.
He just does, like, he does something, you're like, he is so good.
He takes over games in the fourth quarter against, like, some of the best players in the world.
Like, oh, man.
Like, that's an insane, like, just thing. Outside of, like, the freak of nature that he is, you know what I mean? Like, all of that he has going from his like, physical abilities and his stature, like, that's enough to make him, like, a world-class, like one of the best prospects of all time.
Potential, yes.
But then you add in that he's like, as a rookie, a teenager, he's
already
like
up here, like ready,
a killer, and hitting like back-to-back step-back threes with like just a couple minutes left in a close game against the Lakers, while Anthony Davis is guarding him. dunking on Anthony Davis. And then like making all the defensive plays too. Yeah, he made the defensive play to get the ball back, and they had that the turnover that cost them the game. Wemby gets the defensive stop, and they are like in the backcourt. Malachi Branham has it, and he's passing it over to Devin Vassell, I believe, and he just kind of lazily throws it over to him. And AD's still not. He's not like switching ends yet, and he goes for the ball and gets the interception, and then just dunks it on the other end after Wemby was already streaking down the floor, because Wemby got the contest. It was one of those deals where he contests the jump shot, and so then his momentum's already carrying him down the floor, you know? So usually in those situations, especially with a freak athlete like Victor, if he is contesting a shot and running down the floor and his team gets the ball, they should just send it down the court to him so he gets a wide open basket. But Malachi Branham instead just lazily throws it over to Devin Vassell and gets it taken away. That's literally what lost them the game, was that play, because then they had to start fouling, and they would have been up instead of being down by one. So,
man, it's just so frustrating. Like it has to get to him, right?
I would think, but he seems so calm and composed, like all the time. I mean, you could tell on his face, like after that game, that he was like disappointed with the loss. I don't know if he was with his teammates, but
how do the Spurs keep finding them? How do they just randomly have these picks to find these big men that are like rather agreeable?
Yeah,
like just
good people.
Why?
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
Maybe Wemby is boiling, but he doesn't give off the vibes that he's like gonna explode in demand. Like I need you to help me, please.
He seems so. Just watching interviews with him and stuff, he's just so like well thought out, and like it reminds me of, I don't know if you know much about like Taylor Swift's start. This is weird that I'm comparing Victor Wembanyama to Taylor Swift, but like,
brother, man, who are you talking to?
I don't mean like her first albums like musically. I just mean like the way she was prepared for stardom.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about, because I'm like, I rock with Taylor Swift from like, I'll go through 1989. I like mess with Taylor Swift hardcore.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Probably even more than I do. But I just have heard it's talked about before about her dad and her, well, when she was a teenager, like they were so prepared and thought out about how they would handle stardom and handle like her career as a pop star or a country star or whatever. And make like all the right moves of like just the way to deal with certain situations, certain fans, and like just how to be in the public eye, basically. And like Victor Wembanyama very much gives off that same type of vibe of like that he's known for like since he was like 11 or 12 that he was going to be an NBA player, and he's been like basically preparing for like how to handle that. And so like the preparedness of like the whole yoga thing, like how to take care of his body and make sure like he stays healthy, like that's just a huge thing. But then also just like the demeanor of like letting the game come to him and not forcing the issue necessarily, and just like keeping a level head, and then just knowing what moments of games to just take over. And just having that kind of like just mind for the game is just like insane for anybody to have at his age, let alone like physically one of the most dominant, like just alluring specimens that the sport has ever seen.
Well, yeah, and I think the other thing that like if he's taking care of his body this well now, do we just have like 25 years of this to look forward to?
Yeah. Honestly,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like 25 might be a bit crazy.
It'd be hard to I feel like it would be so hard to maintain a back on a person like that for that long. But
yeah, but I mean, but if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna have to be somebody that has that like at 18 or 19 years old already mentally is like, I need to take care of this thing that is my body because it's what makes me do what I love doing.
Yeah,
that's not something that people usually figure out right away.
Exactly.
But to come into the grind with that, like already like what seems to be just aggressively programmed in.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's like his parents prepared him. Like his dad's he was a professional basketball player overseas. But I'm not sure where it comes from, honestly.
It's like next level.
Yeah.
It is wild.
But yeah, so that does it with the Wemby stuff. I think we'll end off today's episode with just some more trivia. We'll do some more jersey number trivia like we did last episode for the end here today. I think Jacob has 10 random NBA players drawn for me, and he's just going to feed them to me. So here we go.
First one, pretty easy for you. Will Barton.
He wore number 5 on the Nuggets. On the Blazers, was he number 5 too?
Yep.
He was? Okay. And he was...
There's only one time he was not number 5.
Was that number 1?
It was.
And that was on the Raptors.
Yes.
There we go.
I believe. Hold on, let me make sure that...
Either the Raptors or... Yeah, it was the Raptors.
It was Raptors. I just want to make sure because, like, you have to hover over to get the exact team. It was a black jersey with red, like, outside, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the Raptors. Could have been the Blazers, I guess. It was the Raptors. He wore number 1. We've got Jingles himself.
Yep, number 2 for the majority of his career with the Jazz. I don't remember what he was on the Bucks. I think it was 7, and he wears 7 now on the Magic, I want to say.
Yes, sir. Oh, this is going to be the tougher one. It bounces around a bit, but Larry Nance Jr.
Larry Nance Jr. has got to be number 22 usually. That's what I think of him as, and that's what his dad's jersey number was. So that's what he wore. He couldn't wear that in Cleveland, though, because it's retired for his dad. Right? He did not wear 22 in Cleveland?
They let him, I think.
Oh, they did? Okay.
It's saying that he wore 22 in Cleveland, but for a couple games. So in 17 and 18, he wore 24 for a brief stint. And then again, on the January 28th of 2020 as a tribute for Kobe.
Gotcha.
Was that before?
January 28th? That was 2 days after.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was in February, but it was late January.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, was that?
Yeah, January 26th.
So
it was a Sunday. I was getting on a flight coming home from Seattle when we heard the news. But, yeah. Larry Nance Jr., number 22 most of the time. I think he's been like number 20 maybe before. No? What was
Where did he start?
He was on the Lakers to begin his career. Was he not number 22 there? Number 7.
It was 7. And then there's one more weird one when he played in Portland.
Was it number like 11? It was 11? Oh my gosh. Like I feel like I'm better at this than I even think I am sometimes. I just kind of like know it. Like the jersey number 1 for Barton like was something that I was like, I don't know, but it just kind of feels right.
This is a one-teamer.
Okay.
Onyeka Okongwu.
17.
Yep. Jamias Ramsey.
3.
And?
You wore another jersey number?
Yes, he wore 3 as a rookie. And then he only wore one other for the Kings as well.
Was it in the 20s?
It is in the 20s.
See, I just don't know why I know that. Was it 23?
It was just 20.
20? Dang it. Almost.
Next one's going to be Colin Sexton.
2.
Yep. For both
the Cavs. Oh, yeah. Both.
For our next one, it'll be Spicy P himself, Pascal Siakam.
43. That's a gimme.
Obi Toppin.
1. Right? Both places? Nice.
Yep, for both. Here's a harder one, as we got a couple easy ones in a row there for the random generator. Let's actually save the harder one for last.
Okay.
We will go with Grant Williams.
Grant Williams. In Boston, he wore... Man, why is this not popping into my mind right away? I know, okay, in Dallas he wears 3.
Right? Yes, he does.
In Boston, 12.
12.
There we go. I don't know why that takes so long.
Now for your, I don't want to call it final boss, but it's definitely not easy. You'll know some of them for sure. Jared Vanderbilt.
Jared Vanderbilt. He's number 2 right now on the Lakers. Mm-hmm. He was number 8 on the Nuggets.
And also...
He was another number on the Nuggets too?
Yes, he was number 8 as a rookie in 19, but in 2020, he wore a different number.
Was it a single digit?
It was.
Couldn't be 2, because that is retired for Alex English. 9?
Nope. No Nugget will ever wear this number again.
6. Okay. I don't remember Jared Vanderbilt being 6. That's Weird.
It was the year he got traded in the middle of the year. I don't know how early it happened or when it happened.
Makes sense.
But it said he wore 6 in 2020 before he went to the Timberwolves. And what jersey did he wear there?
By the way, DeAndre Jordan wears 6 right now in the Nuggets, but nobody after him will wear it.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves, he wore
2 numbers.
He wore 2 with the Blazers or the Wolves too. He needs.
I think with the Wolves, he came in and they gave him a number, and then he went back to a different number.
So 8.
Yeah,
one of them
is the second one.
First one, was this a double digit?
Nope, single digit.
It was single. What did Jared Vanderbilt wear when he first got to? Was it 2?
Close.
3.
3.
Interesting. That's weird to imagine him wearing 3.
I don't have like a breakdown of how many games he wore wearing
Yeah.
the jersey number 3, but
Yeah, no.
he did. And then
It's hard with these guys that wear a ton in like very short amount of time.
Yeah, and then the Jazz. What number was he on the Utah Jazz during his time there for the year?
Was it 8?
Don't overthink it. It is 8.
Okay.
So don't overthink it.
Yeah. It feels like it would be 8 in my mind. Nice.
We can go back through them and go colleges if you'd like with those guys. I think you'll rattle them off pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do that.
Will Barton.
End. Will Barton went to Memphis. Memphis Tigers.
Joe Ingles.
None, right? He came out of Australia. Just straight to the NBA from Australia, I want to say.
I want to double check. Yeah, you are correct.
Okay.
I do not see a college. Then we've got Larry Nance Jr.
Wyoming. I almost said Wisconsin. Wyoming.
Dude, I was like, I know it is not Wisconsin. It is Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming Cowboys.
Okongwu.
USC.
Jamias Ramsey.
Ooh. Mississippi State.
SEC school, but a different one. Same colors. Actually, you probably see them in your brain. It's a different
really?
SEC school that has the exact same colors.
Mississippi State is maroon, right?
Mm-hmm. You probably also might think of this. Oh, that'll probably maybe not for you. You probably think of the school as a Big 12 school.
Oh, okay.
And
then Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was thinking Texas A&M, but I was like, that's a Big 12 school. So
it switched after Nebraska left the Big 12 to SEC, like 2 years after. It's been SEC.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to me.
I want to say it's been an SEC school since like 2013, probably 2014.
Wow.
I might be wrong on the year, but I'm actually no. Johnny Manziel played in the SEC, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm super behind then.
Colin Sexton.
Alabama.
We're staying in the SEC. Jeez Louise. Pascal Siakam.
New Mexico State.
I'll have to check that one. We'll jump on to Obi Toppin next.
Obi Toppin went to Dayton. Like the best player in college his junior year or sophomore year.
Yes, for both of those.
Nice.
They are both correct. Then you got Jared Vanderbilt.
Kentucky.
And Grant Williams.
Tennessee.
Yes, that was just a whole lot of SEC. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it was. Like almost all of them. Memphis isn't SEC, but it's in the same area. But yeah, that's
2012 is when Missouri and Texas A&M both moved to the SEC.
Wow. See, in my mind, Missouri seems more like a SEC school for some reason. But yeah, I probably would have guessed Missouri's in the SEC. But
Texas and Oklahoma are SEC schools starting next year.
Starting next year. Okay.
Oklahoma and Texas both.
This is going to be hard to keep track of.
Yeah, it's kind of be a nightmare. Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA are all Big Ten schools now.
I think I knew that. You said Oregon, Washington, and USC?
USC and UCLA.
Oh my gosh. So how many Big Ten schools are there going to be? Like 18?
18, because there's 14 now.
Wow.
And then people have heard rumors that Florida State is thinking about jumping ship from the ACC, and the Big Ten would be the landing spot for Florida.
So is there just going to be
Florida
two
State.
Conferences? Is it going to be Power
essentially.
2?
It's really dumb. I really want the everything to go back, but it won't. So
yeah, that is really dumb.
There will be a point where conferences won't want to get bigger because they'll get like less money share. You know, they'll be like, what the heck? I'd like my dollar bills, please.
Yeah, is this because
the contracts also might scale up equally so? But yeah, what's up?
Is the reason why all this conference realignment happening just because some of the bigger schools of their conferences are like, we want to play better competition to get more eyes on us, more like
not
money?
At all. It is exclusively money.
Well, isn't that the reason though for the money going up? Like playing on TV more because you're playing better competition?
It has nothing to do with the level of competition. It's the TV deals are going up just because they're going up because more people are watching, whatever reason. The level of competition is like, for example, the SEC
found it hard
football,
to believe that adding Texas to like the SEC doesn't.
No, it makes the level of competition go up, but that's not why teams are leaving. It's not because they want a better schedule.
But like having Texas in the SEC gets more people watching SEC games, and also gets more people watching Texas games, right? Wouldn't that be a mutually beneficial leap?
Yes and no, because the SEC already had 14. So adding 2 more, there's only so many slots that they can televise for SEC football. Yes.
But the bigger games are going to be, like the biggest games are going to be even bigger now.
Yeah, because they're conference games. But the SEC only plays 8 in conference games a college football season opposed to the 9 that most other conferences do. I don't know why. I hope they change that because I think it's lame. But I would like to see there be a Big Ten SEC football challenge like the Big Ten ACC in basketball. I think that would be a cool thing. Every year, like week 4, you have a Big Ten school match up against an SEC school. I just think that'd be cool. It'd be a cool deal.
Yeah, that would especially work with them being the 2 biggest by far conferences in the land.
I am like his football. I understand how things are like going to shuffle down. But I am wondering how like other sports will be impacted by this mega conference thing.
Yeah. Because can you be in 2 different conferences for 2 different sports?
No. I don't think so. I don't want to spit fake info.
But Notre Dame is like independent in football, but they're ACC in basketball though, right?
Notre Dame is independent, but they play a conference schedule. They have like 7 conference games in the ACC. But is Notre Dame just actually a full-on member of the ACC in basketball?
I thought they were.
Well, I just know because Notre Dame football, every single game is televised on NBC, and that's why Notre Dame's independent.
Did they get listed in the ACC standings?
No.
No? They do in basketball.
They're in. Okay, so then it's a different. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
Who does Nebraska have this year for the ACC Big Ten Challenge?
I don't know.
We also got our just teeth kicked in by Creighton, which kind of sucked.
Yeah.
That hurt.
I'm sure it did.
Anyway,
the Creighton hater of this podcast.
Yeah, I'll fully, happily admit that.
Yeah.
And it's also not even, I more hate the J-skers, the people that like only Creighton men's basketball and like the people that only like Creighton men's basketball and everything else Nebraska.
Yeah.
The only acceptable type of J-sker is people that like everything Creighton and then Nebraska football because Creighton doesn't have football.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, no. But if you're all Creighton outside of football, I'm with you. I get it. Yeah, Creighton volleyball, Creighton men, women's, everything. But if you only like Creighton men's basketball and everything else Nebraska, leave. Leave my.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Oh,
I used to think it was just that you didn't like anybody who liked anything Creighton.
Did you know that the Big Ten ACC Challenge was over?
No.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge ended after this season following its 2023 run. So there is not one this year.
Gotcha. Well, we just beat Michigan State also. Lost to Minnesota.
Which was crazy. The Minnesota loss made me want to absolutely put my head through a drywall. We can probably wrap this up, though, so you don't have to keep editing through our ramblings. That it's basketball adjacent, but not really probably what people want to listen to. Yeah. I don't even know if any of that will make it. Probably most of it, some of it.
I think I'll probably keep it.
If you were still here, that means you listened to the whole thing. Be sure to head on down to the description. Check out patreon.com/Hoop Theory. Also, buy Logan a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Hoop Theory. Is it the same thing?
Same thing.
Also, if you're watching on YouTube looking at both of our faces, beautiful or not, whatever you believe, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of Logan's Pirtle videos, new full episodes, clips of me rambling, all sorts of things. Check out all that stuff. And once we get to 5,000 subscribers on TikTok, did we get there yet? Or we're short still, right? We're still short?
We just got to 4. So.
Okay. We are at 5,000 TikTok subscribers or followers, or whatever they call on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but we are giving away a jersey to a lucky somebody. Because shout out to my homie. I don't even know if he wants, I'm not going to say his name, but my jersey guy. Shout out to you because I know you listen. Because he's talked to me about it. He's like, I don't know if he listens to the whole thing, but anyway, shout out to the jersey guy. Okay. We will get you a jersey of your choosing, but it has to be in a youth small. So I'm just kidding. I know it's a joke. It can be whatever size, and Logan will do all the fancy details with you via TikTok. We'll pick a random one of the 5,000, or we'll have like a Google Forms you can submit to. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
We'll get the details, but 5,000 TikTok followers or subscribers or watchers is what gets us. The followers is what will set that off. So that's exciting. You can get an NBA jersey, MLB, NFL. Probably NBA is probably why you're here.
Yeah.
So anyone but Miles Bridges, actually, is our new rule. I've decided.
Yep, that's a good rule.
You can get anybody's jersey but Miles Bridges.
You want to put Draymond Green on that list too, or do you want to? We'll leave him
If you get a Draymond Green one, we're only sending you a U small.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair for everybody, honestly. But yeah, all the stuff Jacob said, do that. Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you guys next episode.
Peace!